I'm going to put mine to live chat. How's everyone doing? I am going to go right over to my iron and iron this up. All right, I'm here. So let's see how everyone's doing. I'm going to put on my other glasses to check out the chat. Here we are. Wow, a lot of us are on here first thing this morning. Good morning, Muriel, Melanie, Teresa, Lori, Dawn, Sherry. Okay, we're all good. So, after I left you all, hold on, let me put this up. After I left you yesterday, I did take a nap, actually. Good morning, Clay. You go back to bed. I've been doing a little 15-minute cleanup before, and I found a tubby, and I knew it was there, of French General blue and cream color scraps. They're actually 2.5 inches wide, and some are 6 inches. So Lisa, the Awkward Quilter GA, had made some lap quilts. Oh, my hair is crazy. Made some lap quilts for when we were doing the lap quilt kind of drive situation. And she sent, and her lap quilts were this, a French General. And she sent me, I guess, her scraps of what was left over. I've never had any French General. I was all excited about French General. And then I saw them and I said, I wonder if I pair this with some of my reds, if this could qualify as a Quilt of Valor quilt. So I took a picture, a snapshot, sent it over to Pat, and she said it'll be fine because they will use a patriotic quilting on it to make it all good. So I thought, how wonderful is this? Because it's Lisa's birthday month. So let's honor Lisa for her birthday month by using her scraps. So we're going to use Lisa's scraps, some of my stash. And before I mail off the package, because I was going to mail it off yesterday until I found this, and then my wheels were turning of what I was going to do. And then this morning when Pat said yes, I woke up to her email. I said, we're going to go for it. We're going to go for a third quilt to be sent. I have heard from you all that you liked that quilt that Linda Moyer made, that like centerpiece, which was like a strings quilt. And so I got thinking, I'm not going to be sewing tons of tiny strings, not happening. So what I'm going to do is my version of her string quilt using 2.5-inch wide strips, sashing, and flipping stitches. So we're going to use Linda's center as inspiration. A lot of you wanted to know how to make it. This is my interpretation. I know that hers are probably like 1.5 inches. We're going 2.5 inches. We are supersizing it, but I'm going to take her idea of red and blue, put them together, and then use sashing and stars. All right, so let me come over here. because this is going to drive me nuts. I have to fix my hair. You would think I would have noticed that ahead of time. I have been up. You all were you wonder when I do my cutting. I did some cutting this morning, early this morning. I did some cutting. But mainly what I did was I mainly went right to working of designing what I was doing. There we go. Maybe that looks a little bit. Designing what I was doing and started doing strips. I don't even know if this is going to work, but we're going to find out. So what I did was I took the pre-cut strips that were in that bucket and I put 3 together. And I did like a white on blue, a blue on blue, and then like a light blue on blue. So that was my first step. I did that. I have a pile of them here. Then I had to cut from my stash. So I had these two to kind of bring in some patriotism, I guess, to it. And I didn't have much white with red, so this is all I could find. So now we're to this point. I just don't have a lot even, just in general. Like I have a lot of scrap pieces, tiny pieces, but not big yardage pieces. And the scrap pieces for this, I need long. So, of course, I didn't have any jelly roll. Jelly roll that and this. So we're going to go with these. So I sewed up that whole kind of bucket pretty much of the blue and white scrap, 2.5-inch strips that Lisa had cut. And now I'm going to pair another one of these red strips to here. So once I run these through, just know that I did get up at 5. I was tempted about putting on the camera, but I just needed mental time to myself. Plus my eye was twitching. It's been twitching this morning. It's been doing some weird stuff. And, you know, I was going to see if I had to, I didn't know what to do about it. It kind of subsided every once in a while. I don't know if it's eye strain or what. I go to the eye doctor regularly because I have issues. So yesterday, I did go to one of my doctors, and we put some things on hold till I find out more because I'm going to the specialist tomorrow. The one specialist, and then I have another different specialist for next week. It's just ongoing. It's all good. All right, so there we are. I'm gonna, I wish I could have gotten this so that all I had to do was, there we go, use this. So all I had to do is start designing, but you know, sewing takes a while. I want things zippity zip zip zip. It's not happening. How's everyone doing? Yeah, today was the day I was supposed to read my comments and respond, but my eye was not cooperating for twitchy reasons. Hi, Amy. What is this? So yeah, is having a liquidation sale on machines. Oh, okay. I know, I was thinking about my machine situation. It's a sad situation. Well, once the owner comes back from, good morning, Joe, from vacation, I guess I could figure out what I'm doing. I was glad to actually find this, and the good news is that all of this here, this fabric now, I have one couple pieces out of my stash, so that makes me happy. I didn't even know, I forgot about these pieces. I don't know. You know, when you have a lot of like scraps, you lose track. And I shouldn't say they're scraps, but I think they were, one piece was maybe a quarter yard and the other was a third of a yard. Oh, thank you. So after we got off of Joe's live, and I'm talking about Vintage by Joe. Good morning, Joyce. I was, I went in and went to that paranormal poet channel, and then I started listening to like a scary story, and I'm not that kind of person. But I figured, you know, if he's doing ambiance, you know, how scary could this possibly be? So everybody was wondering about his voice. Yes, he has a beautiful voice. He has a nice voice. And I read about him. He's 25 years old. Maybe we can get him into quilting. Um, so yeah, then he started going into about camping and a true story. And I'm like, yeah, and this is where I got to check out because I love camping. And I already am a little freaked out about camping sometimes. Yes, Nick, that's what's his name. Yes. So, but then I went into the ambiance, like the, I don't know. He has like if you need to get back to sleep, and there was one that was a thunderstorm. I like a good thunderstorm, so that was good. All right, so I have a couple more, and we probably should just even see if this is even going to work. Because honestly, I don't know if this is going to work. I might be. This may end up being a rail fence quilt if it doesn't work, which is okay too, right? So let's see. So what I have is I have strip sets of 3 going on here. Strip sets of 3 of both white and blue. I thought it was all blue, and then I looked again at the picture. I was like, oh, darn it. It's because I was going to initially do all blue and then do sashing that was red and then white stars or cream stars. And then I looked at the picture. I was like, oh no, no, no. She has half of the stripes blue and half blue and white and half of the stripes red and white. So I wanted to keep in that because everybody seemed to like the way that looked. Good morning, Sherry. My guess though is that you could definitely, if you have red, white, and blue strings, this is a good way to use them up. All right. You know what? I'm just going to go for it. We got 2 more. Let's just bang out these last 2 strips, and then we will have all of our strip sets done. Again, I didn't cut any of the blue. That was pre-cut for me. I just cut the red and the white. And yes, I'm a fast cutter. I will admit I'm a fast cutter, and I stack a lot of fabric and cut. Need a good sharp blade for that. Good morning, E. Marie. So today what I had slated to make was my ginger quilter quilt for this month. I have it all out to do today. And this is what happens. I get sidetracked. And then I want one more. Hi, good morning, Jessica. Just one more quilt to go to Pat. This way, Pat has 3 quilts from all of us, right? Because one couldn't have done it without Linda, Mona, and now Lisa. And if you don't know who Lisa is from the Awkward Quilter GA, go over there and check out her channel. I'm pretty sure everybody here is already on her channel, but go over there and check out her channel and wish her a happy birthday from me. Let's flood her with birthday kindness. I've already changed my bobbin this morning, and I changed it to my last bobbin. So I'm hoping that this bobbin can keep us sewing for the rest of this live. But we'll see. I'm so excited because we are almost done with these strip sets. There's more sewing because wait till I show you. So this is my mind, so I don't know. We're going to sew one together here and see if it works. So what I'm going to make, I picked up a huge bag of RWB yardage for Pat. Plus I'll make a top or two. Oh, how wonderful. What is RWB? Oh, red, white, and blue. Never mind. I'm a little slow this morning. All right, so here we are. We now have all our red and white done. And what's so lovely is that I can send these to Pat and I do not have to long arm them. Because yes, I have a long arm, but I seem to procrastinate on that. The minute though I start with the long arm, I can't stop. So go figure. All right, so we have piles here. We have piles of red, and then I have piles, and of blue. Oops, we have to get those. I think we have enough here for a quilt. I'm pretty confident I have enough here for a quilt. See all these? Okay, but I cannot do the pressing. I cannot do the pressing. Let's see, how can we do this? We'll put you up here. I think you could see me. There, you see it? You see over there the iron? That's where I'm going. All right, so you all talk amongst yourselves. I'm almost done. Almost done. My last one. I've got them. We've got them. All right, here we go. Let's see. I'm going to read. So we have Cutting Ninja. Yes. Good morning to Leanna and her peeps. First sip. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to go through all the messages. Okay, that's where I left off. Lisa gets on to lurk after 7, I believe. So cool. What did I miss? Is there a Quilts of Valor drive? Yes. Here we go. All right. I'm glad you're all talking amongst yourselves. Okay. Hi, Lurking Lisa. When you are on to read this. Oh, okay. So we're going to come down here and we're going to get to some cutting and some designing. And so here we are. Here is my bucket of Lisa scraps, right? All right, and then this is some of my scraps that I'm adding to that cart. And now we have a pile of scraps. Pretty much my reds, since I don't have much variety, look like this. And these were from, I don't know, maybe quarter or third yard cuts I had of these 3 fabrics. So that's what I've got going on there. Then I have, we'll put these back here. Then I have the 2.5 inch strips from Lisa in this box, and I went through and I put them in like a light, a medium, and a dark. These were the fabrics. These are Moda's French General fabrics. They're beautiful. They're luscious. I really wanted to make something for myself with it, but you know what? She is always gifting and giving, and I think what more to honor her for her birthday is to use her scraps in a project that we can gift. So this is my thought. Wait, why am I over here? I can't be over here. I need to be back to my sewing, but I'll show you over here anyway. All right. So my thought is I took out my strip tube ruler, which looks like this, okay? And I thought I would make a fabric tube. And a fabric tube and then cut. So this is a little fun trick. If you make a fabric tube and use this to cut, you instantly get a quilt block. Yes, you instantly get that. So we're going to take a red and white and pair it to a blue. All right, we're going to pair it to a blue. And I'm going to put these in half so that this way I can just grab it. Let's be a little organized here. So here we are. I'm going to grab this and pair it. Pair it to this one. And I have one more here. But wait. When I was playing with this, I realized this wasn't going to work. So this is a strip set of 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here and take one side off, and then we're going to use it Yeah. Oh, and then, so you know what? I'm going to take the long side because I want to get as much length as I can on this. Let's see. No, I'm just gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this and get as much length off of this as I can. So I'll sew this, I'll fix this. And this is me wrestling with my Jack the other day. Yeah, he bit me. As a matter of fact, he bit me so hard that when I pulled my hand out, Jack was still standing up in my skin. And that was not too great. Oh, you were traveling this weekend? Well, it's good to travel. If you were, I hope you weren't traveling over here and tried to not come and visit me. Oh. Some sew some together end to end. Yes, but I think with the Quilts of Valor, they don't like a lot of franken piecing or seam. I'm not sure. I have to understand more. So that may end up happening, Melanie. That very may well. And you know we're going to get scraps from this, right? We're going to get scraps, and then I'm going to have to do something with those scraps. So right now I'm just going to take this to pair it off with that other red. And so theoretically right now I just made a strip tube, because this is how you would make a strip tube. But we're going to go with a lot of, as much length as I can get before I seam her. And we're not going to seam work with a traditional Jack because I'm mad at him. He bit me. And he's left his teeth marks in me too. Granted, I really wasn't probably paying attention to what I should have been paying attention. All right, we're going to get our motorized one. What I am doing with straps now is making tote bags, storage bags to put the quilt in. Oh, wow, that's great. All right, so I'm going to come in here and I want these. Let's see, which ones do I want? I want these 3. Let me make sure it's full length. Yes. 1, 2, 3. So I need to take off 2 sides now. I have to take off. Yikes. Oops. Oh, that's not it. This one doesn't even have any battery in it. Okay. Let's try a different one. Let's try one that with a battery may help. Here we are. Okay, so you're going to see me seam rip. I'm going to seam rip this right here. Okay, so nope. All right, I'm not going to seam rip this. I'll seam rip this when I have patience, which is not now. We don't need all that right now to get us started. Let's just go for this. All right, so I'm going to take these 2, the red, white, and then the blue and white. And I need to put this here. Again, you're on horizontal, so I can't see everything. Bags and me do not mix. I just think I don't have the patience for it. I'm not quite sure. I've made now 2 bags. So now I'm going to come in here and I am going to sew on both sides 1/4 inch on these strip sets. So they hopefully should be the same size. If we have a consistent 1/4 inch or whatever inch I guess you choose, as long as it's consistent, right? 1/4 inch is the norm, but I do know some people that do sew a different size. Okay, so I'm just going to do one to kind of show you what it is I'm doing, and also double check that this is going to be a good, my idea is going to come true. All right, so I have the one side, and now I'm going to come to the other side, and they should match. They should. Let's see. Yes, okay. So now I come to the other side, and we are going to sew on the other side. And I'm hoping, yes, okay. And so you might be saying, what is this going on here? Some of you might be saying, what is she doing? It is magic what's going to happen. I hope it is magic. I hope I have a good magic trick here. All right, here we go. Let the magic begin, I hope. So now I have 2 strip sets together. I have a 1/4 inch seam here and a 1/4 inch seam there. Now, you know what? Okay, I'm going to put that down. And I am going to measure this. This should be 6.5 inch wide ish. Yes, 6.5 inch exactly. Wow, I never get exactly. All right, so I am going to start off with this end, and I'm going to do something a little different. I actually am going, because I'm going to use these scraps, I'm actually going to come here and first I'm going to clean this edge off. I normally don't do that, but I think I'm going to save myself some hassle since I'm going to be using the leftovers. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to see what would be the best size for me to use. So to me, this, I could go with 8, but let's go with 8.5. I'm just gonna go with 8.5. I'm gonna take this, and this is like a little, if you see this, it's washi tape. So I'm gonna come through here. I'm going to bring this all the way to the end, and I'm putting this 8.5 inch line on my sewing line, okay? It's on my sewing line. And then I'm going to come this way first, and then come this way, which leaves us this odd looking cutoff. But we don't throw things out, so we're going to figure something out for that. So watch this. This is where the magic happens. Our block is done. Yes, our block is done. And it kind of gives us that same like strip, right? That strip thing that was going on there that Linda did. So, yep, that strip. So this is a strip tube. And what she did was she made strings. So strings is different than strip tube. Oh no, it disappeared. Huh. So we're going to now come over here. So I just turned this the opposite direction. And now, here we go. Magic again. So this is what I was thinking in my head that we can do to get kind of the look that Linda had going on. I have no idea how Linda did it. So if I had to guess, she did strings. And you know, sometimes we have these specialty rulers and we don't even know what to do with them. Oops, I'm short. I am short. See that? So what I'm going to do here is, instead of this big thing, let me take one that's a little bit smaller. I'm just going to clean this while I'm here, just so that. And this is a tube-like thing, so I don't know. We'll figure out what we'll do with that. Put that aside. And this, we can actually use this stuff for crumb quilting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I've got 5 out of that one strip. So we have these 5. And now we only need, I don't know how many more, but we're just going to keep making them. I'm going to turn on, I probably could take that off up there. Right, we're going to turn on the iron so that we can press these. So let's continue with the magic trick of the day. Lisa, if you're on here, your scraps are going to good use, girl. Good use. Now, of course, there's going to be, because I had, you know, if you had a jelly roll or something like that, like a patriotic jelly roll, like the Friendship Star is great for charm packs. I would say this is great for jelly rolls. Everything would be matching, but being that I had to put together some scraps and use some of Lisa's scraps, some of her scraps weren't with the fabric. I see. Oh, good. Do you know who I've seen do this a lot? So how I even ended up with that strip tube specialty ruler was because of Donna Jordan. Yes, our beloved Donna Jordan. She, Cozy Quilt Designs uses a lot of strip tubing in their quilts. So that's how I ended up with it, because she had made some quilt. And I thought, oh, that's a nifty idea. So I bought one. Yep. And I hardly use it. I did it for this one quilt. I ended up buying the pattern and everything. And it's actually one of my favorite quilts. I use all very bright, wild, tropical fabrics. And I called that quilt the Puerto Rico quilt. I don't know why, it just reminded me of it. So that's how I ended up with the strip tube. And honestly, I haven't used it probably since. Maybe once or twice. All right, so here we are. We're just running through. Again, the magic happens, but you have to sew both sides a 1/4 inch. So now we're going to the next one, which is here. Let me see if I missed some chat here. It is always a surprise. You've never seen that, Jessica? Well, I don't see it used often, but this reminds me of a quilt that Donna Jordan did. But she used to like to use that strip ruler a lot. She makes half square triangles. Good morning, Deb. She makes half square triangles using that strip ruler. That is another thing that I found that I've used that for. So I guess I've made 1 or 2 quilts using that now that I think about it, because one of them was using that for a half square triangles. Maybe we'll do that one day. That makes a lot of half square triangles. I just like how you just have the block made already. It's done. The block is done. I mean, I played a lot with that strip ruler, just playing, like making tiny things. But whole quilts, I've only now that I remember, I made one using the half square triangle and then one doing it like this. Because now I'm thinking one day I did do something where I did like 3 strips and then 1 solid on top. Good morning, Loretta. I'm like playing myself right now. I'm like, oh, I have only used it once or twice. Now all of a sudden I'm thinking of all these scrap quilts I did just playing around with that. That's how I ended up with, I'm like, ooh, I could take these and do instant blocks. These are the things that keep me up at night. And then I got to wake up and put them to fruition. And as you can see, I'm just moseying along here. It's just nice, calming, sewing. So Deb, we are using Lisa's scraps that she had sent me during our drive for the nursing home. Oh, good. The quilt you're doing right now has blocks like that. Yeah, isn't this fabulous, Barb? Who just said that? All right, Barb's just said that. Yes. I wish I could remember my dreams, but only if they are good. Oh, some dreams I don't want to remember. So I ran those all through on one way, right? And so now we're going to run it on the other. And then we'll be ready to, let's see. And you want to make sure when you do the other side, you want to do it the other end. So you don't want to sew the 2 ends, because then you'll get like a wonky looking strip tube. It'll bend them both. So you want to make sure you sew one way and then sew the other. And you're just going to feed these right in. Joe, I hope I'm giving you all kinds of ideas to use your scraps. It doesn't necessarily have to be strips. I think I'm going to have to do a video using crumbs and that ruler and put that part of my crummy series. All right, so I sewed that end, so now I have to sew this one. There we go. Oops. Sometimes it could be a little challenging, but you will find your groove on how to get this. And the good news is this is very forgiving too, because you're trimming your blocks at the end. She's a speed sewer. Yeah, I'm joining the speed sewing, the Olympic sport of speed sewing. I love hearing the hum of the machine just humming along. I'll admit, I can't sleep, and sometimes I do this and I start getting sleepy. Yesterday, I ended up with a 2-hour delay yesterday, yes. So when I got off, I realized, I guess we had ice, so there was a 2-hour delay. And I went downstairs after finding these strips. Yes, I was excited. Sent Pat the email, and I fell asleep in bed for about an hour. I felt so good. Felt so good. I have my speed control set at half speed. All right, so now we have two more of these tubes, and then we are going to cut, press, and go to the design wall. And hopefully we will have a speedy Quilt of Valor quilt that kind of has the feeling of the Linda quilt. We're going to call it the Linda quilt. Just want to make sure that I am grabbing fabric from the bottom. And then we have, I feel like I'm breaking rules of some sort, but I'm not sure what rule I'm breaking in the Quilt of Valor world, because I thought it said no florals, and this kind of has a floral vibe, but I feel like it's in a masculine way, so, I mean, it's French General. I think adding the stars gets it better. Oh, I see Andrea. I actually didn't see Andrea, but I see people saying hello, Andrea. So good morning, Andrea. I'm trying not to run over my fingers because I have got, like, yes, I do have this pedal to the metal right now. There we go. There we are. So we're going to go over here now, and we are going to cut blocks. Our finished blocks. I overslept. Is there such a thing as oversleeping? I think any sleep is good sleep. there we are. So we're going to come here and I'm trimming this. You don't have to help myself out, because normally I don't trim. And then, so as long as your stitch line is straight and you put that stitch line on this 8.5 on here, mark, you should be good. And there we are, instant gratification blocks. And I'm gonna find, that's why I put this tape here, because it kind of helps me out to do this faster. I'm not fiddling so much with it. And there, find that. You want to make sure it's on the line, and then that this is all the way over. You can always clean the edge if you find that your edge has gone a little wonky. Oops. Comes all the way across. And let's see, can I get another one? I don't think so. Nope, that goes over there for scraps. Here we are. Myra, good morning. I just saw your name come up. Here we are. I'm gonna grab this. Ready, people in place. Where would you find the greatest statue of the Sphinx? Good morning, Annette. Where would you find the great statue of the Sphinx? All right. Let's see, Giza, Egypt. I think it's Egypt, right? Yes, Egypt. Okay, who disappeared when the Queen of Hearts shouted, "Off with his head"? Who disappeared when the Queen of Hearts shouted, "Off with his head"? The most work you're going to find is, believe it or not, just lining up your seam line with this seam line, making sure this is even. Off with his head. No. No one knows this. Okay, these are the kiddo questions. The queen they're talking about is the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. Another creepy nursery rhyme. Cringe. All right, I will give you some multiple choice. We can have the Mad Hatter, Humpty Dumpty, or the Cheshire Cat. Oh, we don't have enough. I think this is Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, someone was definitely tripping out when they wrote Alice in Wonderland. That's for sure. The Mad Hatter. I wanted to say the rabbit, Cheshire cat. Now this, so you see, I just put this on my line. Oops, right here. My sewing line, and I have to trim off just a hair over here. This is a very forgiving. See, it was forgiving. So the answer is the Cheshire, no clue, never watched it or read it. We're going to say it's the Cheshire cat, and it is the Cheshire cat. All right. How long did the 1896 war between England and Zanzibar last? 38 minutes, 38 days, or 38 months? I have no clue. I don't even know when that was. Well, they just told us when it was. I don't follow Zanzibar news, I guess. I don't even know where Zanzibar is, actually. I think about it in geography. It's somewhere. "38 minutes," Deb says. Okay, that goes there. Put that pile there, and we are on to 38. Good morning, Rita. 38 minutes, days, or months, Rita? There we go. Oh, I have to. I'm already forgetting my rules I'm trying to put in place for myself. All right. I have no idea what it is. It is 38 minutes. Wow, that's a short war. I've been listening and finishing my quilt. Yes, I know. I find that all the time. So, what color are most babies' eyes when they are first born? So I have to correct my little bit of sewing here. Not a biggie. You just skinny trim it off. All right, Ty Melanie. Good morning, Zaza. Blue and sometimes a gray color. I would say, yeah, you know what? You're right. Let's see what they say. They say blue. All right. What are men growing if they wear a soup strainer? What are men growing if they wear a soup strainer? I thought we called them flavor savers, but I guess it's a soup strainer. Kids' version is soup strainer. Hold on. I am not getting this. I'm kind of chuckling about the soup strainer situation, so I'm going to go with this. I can't even, me neither. I mean, I've heard them called a lot of things. Never a soup strainer. Oh, as we all laugh. First thing in the morning, not sure I want to know. My Italian grandma always said he had a strainer with long handles. Oh, okay. Jazzy Joyce is here. Oh, yeah, that's who. Okay, ready? Oh, that's not the one I was using. Here we go. Who was the first? Who was the first American? What? That's controversial. I'm not going to go there. I'm not doing it. I'm not opening up Pandora's box. What river is named for two Indian words, Michi and Sipi, meaning big water? What river is known known as big water? All right, so this is all kinds of crazy the way this one is sewn. Mississippi. 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 That is right. What kind of tall animal is Melman in the movie Madagascar? So we're not going to get many on these, and I do not feel like seam ripping over there. So we're just going to see what we get about with all these, and then if we're good, hold on. So I did somewhere along the line, went a little wonky there, not a problem, because, the heck? Okay, so I've had this in here for way over, I don't know, like 3, 4, 5 months. I think it's time for me to change my blade in this. But I've had this blade on here for such a long time. All right, so here we go. We're gonna come here. And I'll get one more. Oh, good. At least I'm gonna get one more. Whoops, make sure I'm doing the right thing here. See, it just drives me nuts. You make a scrap quilt and Leanne and Tiffany are related. I would think it would be so fun if we did a side by side one day. Tiffany doing hers and me doing another. I mean, I love Tiffany. I've watched Tiffany for years and years and years and years and years. We've been through all trials and tribulations on her channel. So I have scraps from these. So let's see, 3 to 4 months. Wow, if you get 6 weeks out of 9, I'm doing good. I did change to Titan blades and got 2 months out of a blade. Yeah, this has been a while. It's been a long while. It's definitely past the recommended change. But it hasn't given me that much of a problem. So it's like, you know. All right, so let's now come. We have our pile of magic quilts. I mean, magic blocks. I'm going to call them magic blocks because they do go really quick. So here we are. We have, now we're going to press them. Being that we're sashing these blocks, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to the red, just because the red seems to be the darkest right now. So it seems to be that's the way I'm pressing. I'm loving these blocks. It's giving me that feeling of that quilt that a lot of you have asked about. Here we are. So this is good. And I cut a lot. I mean, I cut a lot of fabric. You don't see half the fabric I cut. So, but I do, you know, I should put a PSA out there. I have currently two, is it two? Yes, I currently have two rotary blades two rotary cutters going on. I have the yellow one and then the one with the flowers on it. Though the one in the flowers, I have already changed that blade. With this one still being in there, I've already changed that blade 2 times, 3 times, because it came with one and then I changed it and I just recently changed it. But those blades were different than the blades. The blade that is in my Olfa is the blades from Fabric Hut. And I should put that link in case if you want some of those, because those are a good deal. And then the other blades were Fiskar blades that like I had just gotten through in boxes and stuff like that. All right. I think we're good. I think we may have enough here. They are above average use. But I really try not to nick them with the ruler. I don't use them to pull parts away. I keep them retracted most of the time. Well, all the time actually, because it's the Olfas, you can't not have it retract. I think that's the difference, is my Olfa retracts automatically and the other ones are not. Watching on TV, so not seeing the questions. That's all good. Oh, talking about that, if you follow the soft squares, they're doing a contest using I think it was not a fat quarter, a layer cake. And Andrea, I came across your quilt last night. I don't go on Facebook often. I don't tend to my page. Probably should just shut it down. I was only on my page because I was only on Facebook because my honey found something on Marketplace. So then once that happens, I get suckered in. But I came across your quilt that you entered. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. I love all the colors. Yeah, me too. All right, so we have that. And you know what? And I had it. No, I didn't. Okay. So we have the blocks. Let's put them up. All right, so where were we? We were in the Madagascar. So it was a giraffe. Okay, we're going to hold those off for a little bit, though, now. We are going to set this up. I don't have the picture in front of me as I'm using my phone. Oh, here we go. As I'm using my phone, I don't have the picture up, but I believe it was something like, was it something like this? Oh, I don't remember now. Oh, wait. Why am I racking my brains? I got the quilt. That's even better. Yeah, people do, though. People do. I see it all the time. All right, here it is. It's all folded, ready to go. How many times I'm going to unfold this? But I need to see what she did because a lot of you have commented you liked that center piece. So we're going to try to get the feeling. The only thing is her centerpiece is different because she has a white going through. Here it is. She has a white going through, and I did not do that. She has a lot more white in here. I just used what I had. But we'll still try to get the same kind of feeling. So she has one going that way, and it was the red. The red was going this way. Wait a second. Let me see. Yes, the red was going this way. The red was going this way, and then the red was going the opposite way, like this. So that's correct. Okay, so I've got it. So she has it like that. And don't forget, we are going, oh, you don't even see, do you? We are going to put sashing in between these. And now she has like a white sashing or a cream sashing. I have more. Ooh, cute sashing stars. That's what I'm going to do. Good morning, Lisa. Happy birthday month. And do you notice we are honoring your birthday month with scraps that you sent me from the lap quilt. And we are using it for one last Quilt of Valor quilt. So we have one Quilt of Valor that's going with myself and Linda Moyer, and a Quilt of Valor with myself and Mona from Mona Did What. And the third quilt is going to be the Quilt of Valor by myself and Lisa. So here we are. We're going, and this has got to be a big quilt. So, you know, we're going to try. It's easier for me to have more blocks, believe it or not, than a lot of sashing and border. I don't know why, but it does. So we're going to try to do 6 across, if I have enough. If I have enough. Of course, I had to add from my stash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. And I think we can do this. And then this comes this way. And remember, it's going to have the stars in the center. The stars are going to be in the center. And so and I love these magic blocks. I do. That's what I'm calling them. They may have a name for it, but I'm calling them the magic block. Let's see. Let's see. So okay. So I think I'm all caught up. You all are talking amongst yourselves. This is great. So here we are. And you saw how easy. Now we're not going to forget, we're going to put those stars in here. And she had blue stars and red stars. So I'm going to keep with that theme. This again is my version of maybe what she did with strings. Now let's see how far we can get with all these. And if need be, I may have to go and find more red, because I have more of the blue. I might have to find more red scraps. And then kind of, I'm not going to sew anything until I'm sure that the quilt is big enough, because if I need to find other red scraps, because this is all I had of this, I'll have to mix it up a little. And again, like, look, these two, I probably have to mix some things up, but we're getting the point of what we're doing here. And the sashing is going to be 2.5 inches, because the fabric that Lisa cut was at 2.5. So we're going to just stick with that. Wow, I had exactly, this is exactly. Like, does that ever happen that you'd have exactly? So I have 1, 2, 3. So I have 6 across and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I look at it this way, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will take this down because that other strip. Oh, I should have enough. Wait a second. I should have enough actually. Oh, wait, what I'm not going to have enough of is the red. I'm not going to have enough of the red. So, let's go back to here. Let's go back to here and move this like that. Put that like that, and then we're going to move this down here. So what I will have is, oh, it worked out fine here. Okay. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I will put in the sashing, and then we're just going to put borders on. And then I'm not even going to worry about the other thing. Good morning, Aisha. I'm sorry. Let's see. Where she just made them. Where? Oh, good morning, Regina. Yes, there. It's a magic trick. You will have to find. You'll have to replay to see the magic trick. I am making a faux quilt of valor for hubby. I know. I saw those. I don't know how you did it with your new toy. Is my guess, but I saw it. They're like silhouettes, right? All right, so this is where I'm at. So let me go show you the other scraps I have. So I have one strip left. And you know what? I think I'm going to actually take this strip. Oh, hi, Mom. I'm going to take this strip and going to seam rip it, that other thing, and then I'll get 5 more of these, and I'll do 1 more. This way it gives me the length I need, because I think that's what I need to do. So here we have, let me bring us down. Here we have the Lisa scraps. These are, I went through these. Look at that. So now I have, this is what I use to make the strips. Okay, so I have this pile here. Here we go. We have this pile here of scraps. And then I have this here. So I've got that. We'll put all this together over here. And we're going to take this, no problem, go lurk and go work. We don't want to be a bad influence. So I'm thinking I take these, and I'm going to bring this back up. And put these in between. Okay, we're going to put these in between there. And then we're going to use some of this to make the stars. And yeah, we're going to do that. And I'm going to find some more red. So right now, these should measure 8.5 inch, but I honestly don't know. I just made them. And yes, they are 8.5 inch blocks. So I guess I should look at where I am now, right? And switch some things up, maybe like switch out this block with that. So I have more of these two facing. Switch out this, because I do want to sew these up. We're going to sew these up. These two have to be switched off. So we'll put that there. And this here. Switch this over here. Some of these, then these, it's all right. It's all good. Once it's all gets quilted up anyway, but I just want to do anything that's very obvious in my face. So those are good. And then these just need, this one and this one needs to be switched right there and right here. Okay, so for the most part, it's mixed. I mean, you know, it is what it is. So now what I'm going to do is, good. I'm glad this screams patriotic. I wasn't sure if it was going to. We're going to cut these now into 8.5-inch strips, right? Like pieces, so that it can go in between. So I'm still working on my tubby here. I'm going to move this card before I end up cutting that card. And we are going to find, to help us out, let's see what we got. That is 10. This one is 8.5. I happen to have an 8.5-inch block. So I should show you this. If you do not have a strip ruler, okay, no panic, no panic. We don't have to panic buy a ruler, okay? We are going to pretend that I have another layer on this. If you have an 8.5-inch ruler, look at this. Look at this. You just kind of fudge it a little. So you're going to come in here and you see how there's this line? Do you see this line? Let's see. I'm going to show you how to fudge it and make it yourself. See this diagonal? You are going to measure 1/4 of an inch, right? You're going to come in here, you're going to take this and you say, okay, there's 1/4, right? 1/4 of an inch. I mean, come on, these are hard times. We have to sometimes, we have to buy groceries and eggs are expensive. So look, we're going to take our 1/4 inch line. We're going to put it right on there. And we would take bigger washi tape. Oh, wait, what did I miss? I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to come in and we are just going to put blue tape right on there. Look at that. Now we have made ourselves a little thing. So we know now we can put this blue tape right on the sew line. Look at that. Right? And then, oops, but we got to go all the way over. Take the blue tape on the sew line. Of course, you would put the tape all the way across. And look at this. You got yourself an 8-inch square. So it is possible to use something like this. Just throwing that out there. See, here's my strip ruler. Here is this. You see, it's... Oh, no, I said it wrong. Actually, you don't even need that. Look at that. Never mind, I misspoke. I thought you had to do that. I should have done this to begin with. Actually, when I put it on there, it just says the 8-inch. So just go where the diagonal is. But put the diagonal on your sew line. You're putting the diagonal on your sew line. So there should be a 1/4 inch. You don't even have to do that. Forget that. Rewind. Forget that. Rewind. I was like getting all excited. This is why I double check. So actually, you just use that line, that 8-line diagonal, right where the seam is, and you cut them. So there. Sorry for the confusion, but you can do it. Just use one of these if you don't have one of these. Okay. Now that I went off on that tangent, we're going to go and start cutting. So here we are. I'm just going to start layering all my strips on here. And I'm going to grab them all, except for these. I may keep those aside. And look, we'll just open these up. Anything that we got going on. These are scraps again, so I am just going through. I like Lisa's scraps. Lisa's scraps, look at that. Lisa's scraps are like the bomb right now with this Quilt of Valor. So I'm just coming in here. I already know this is 8.5 inches. So I'm just coming along. And these are going to be my sashing. And this one didn't make the cut, but that's okay. We may put these couple ones together. I don't know. We'll put that there. We will take these next scraps. And these really aren't scraps. They're 2.5 inch strips. She has 2.5 inch strips. She sewed them together. I don't know, Lisa, were you making a, you were making something, because these, so we have that. And this is not big enough, so we'll just put that aside. And I need a lot of these. I guess I should count how many I need, but we'll go with what I have here. I need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a lot. We're just going to say a lot it is. So I'm going to come here, and again, I'm just going to stack all these. And these two, we're going to come here, and I find if I do it like this, I don't have to think about it too much. I'm cutting. And then these are put to side. Yep. And then I have these here. I'm going to flip them because there's a seam right there. And I'm just going to start layering now the next bundle. I don't think this one may make it. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so we'll put those aside. So we're going to have these. We're going to work with these. I'll just save these for a little later in case if we need them. But we have this bundle. We're going to put that aside. Now, and we need star legs. I don't want to really destroy those, so we're just going to go with some yardage. She sent off this as well, and we are going to go with, oh, look at that. Okay, so at some point this was fat quarters, so we are going to go ahead and put this part of there. I'm going to go into this fat quarter, looks like, and I am going to go with this ruler. Cut across. Now I need to make star legs. It's a 2.5 inch piece, so 1.5 should be sufficient overlap. So we are going to go with, I like to use a 2 inch piece, but it would be a lot of overlap. Let's see. Yeah, let's, Oh, what do I want to do? 1 3/4. That's like too much overlap. I'm looking, yeah, let's just do a 1.5. Let's do 1.5. We're going to go with 1.5. I need to clean this all off. So we're going to come in here, clean that. I talk to myself a lot, but you know, I'm not really talking to myself because you are all here. Okay, so we're gonna go with 1.5. We're gonna just go for it. I never know what it's gonna be like until it's done, but we're gonna go with 1.5. And I could do them all black and then black blue and then make it easier on myself, but you know, who wants to do that? So she has red all along one row and blue all along another row. All right. Let me just go ahead. And I can use that because look at some of this. Look at that selvage. Isn't that cool? Thinking out loud, I am. I think out loud quite a bit. All right, so we have this, and now we're going to, I'm going to put them along here. And we are going to cut and I'm just going to make them scrappy. The legs are going to be scrappy. I say that. I'm just going to pick them up and just sew them down and not be a control freak, but you know how that goes. Fix this all back up. And this needs to be moved a little. And now I have to find some red. So we have a pile of legs. Now I could use, I have a strip ruler that would really be great. Not a strip tube ruler, but an actual like stripology ruler that would make this much simpler. So I'm not doing this, but I don't feel like getting it out. Okay, so here we are. We have them all. I'm going to say we have what we need for now. I don't know if we have them all. So I have a pile of blue. And now I need a pile of red. So one of two things can happen. I can forage some red off of these, right? I could do that. But no. Let me just go find something. Here we are. I found something. I found this. I found a piece of red that looks like this. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly press this over here, and then we're going to cut it. Oops, I forgot to take that to cut. So I found this little piece that never got cut. I'm going to just take it and cut it now. And stick that with my pile. And then I'm going to take this and cut this scrap into 1.5 inch. All right, so we're gonna go with this for right now. Spill the beans. I've missed a lot of chat, lots of chat. I got so involved in all of this. Okay, you teach at a high school where earlier chat, thank you. The chat moves so fast. I know it's very hard for even me to catch everything. So totally understand. And anybody try the rulers that So Yeah Brothers sell? I have not. I didn't even know they sold. I am so excited. I am going to announce it to my class today so they can have a surprise to look forward to. I have resisted buying anything from Celia so far. I had a strip charity quilt, another charity quilt, and got tired of seeing the fabric. Gotcha, Lisa. Well, look, it's got its second love over here. I bought 2 of their rulers, small ones, cheaper. They have a stickiness on the back that clings the fabric. I like them. Saving up to buy more. Oh, of course, Lisa's gonna have that. Little pricey, but worth the investment. There we go. Okay, I guess inquiring minds want to know, and gave a review. She prefers Quilter Select. Okay. Well, unless anybody's sending me some for free, that's not happening. All right, here we go. Here we go. So we're going to now start off with our sashings. So all our sashings, I'm just looking over here, except for our top sashing. They all need, so the top row needs red because it has the blue, and all of this, the top row needs only one part that's stitch and flipped on the end. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to pull out 4, hopefully different ones. Good morning, Mona. Let's see, and this one here. Let's see how long that will last. And then we're going to take our red squares, and we're gonna just run them through, stitch and flip them through. Now I do not have, I just realized, let's see if that will work. Yep, I have enough. I mean, it's a tiny ball. Let me grab some of this. And this is kind of like the center-ish. There we go. It's good enough. Just so now I'm gonna take and I'm gonna stitch and flip all these. I am not saving these bonus HSTs because they're not bonus HSTs at this point. They are too tiny. I'm not into that tiny quilting. So I don't even know what size bonus HSTs that would make. I gotta put this closer. I can't see. If I was to do that, let's see. We made it back. No admin building today. Everyone out sick. Oh, hi, Sheila. You sound like you're exercising. Yes, because I'm supposed to be relaxing, and instead I'm I'm running out of breath. This is my form of relaxation. If not, I lay in bed driving myself nuts, imagining what this quilt would be, and I feel so, and I'm supposed to not have any stress either, and it's stressful laying in bed for me. It's a really big stress. So I opt for less stress and more quilting. Okay, so we are putting that there. And we have why do I feel like there was 4 of them? Oh, here's the 4th one. Okay, so We are going to, I hope I got this size right. I really do. And time will only tell. If not, then I'll have a whole lot of 1.5 inch cut, and then we'll just go do 2 inches. I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world. Nope, we're good. It's a healthy star, so we don't have to worry about, you know, points, making sure we catch our points because we have a healthy. Yes, I'm training for the Quilt Olympics. Yes, I wish I had today off because I would love, now that I'm seeing this quilt come together, I would love to have this like done. I have a feeling tomorrow there's going to be another installment of this quilt tomorrow on my show. Okay. I kind of want to just show you what's going on here. I mean, that cannot possibly be a bonus HST. My fingers are bigger than that. So here it is. Look at that. And we definitely have more than a quarter. Look, so we're good. We are good. So we have to just keep, I think this is the most that's going to take most of the time, is, believe it or not, these stitch and flips is going to take majority of the time than actually putting together the block. And I'm going to put up this stitch and flip, and we're going to put it up there, and then we're going to start seeing a quilt come together, hopefully. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here we are. And now some of these I have to put 2 red on one side and 2 stitch and flip blues on one sashing, because the next row of sashing needs the blue. So here, let's put these in. Let's put them right into here. Let's go up. So we have now, well, let's start in this end. So we'll put this in here, and that goes there. And then oops. And you see, this sashing actually is going to make this quilt bigger, which is good. That's what we want. We want this to be bigger. So there we are, and I didn't trim off this one. So we have our first row coming in. So now we have to put in our next row. And I do want to kind of put this on here, since I'm designing this quilt, kind of eyeballing it. I've got to set it all out. Hold on, I'm gonna go through, because I'm finding it hard for me to just grab one and go. I'm gonna sort these out real quick. Here we go. So we'll put one, nope. Now that's not probably gonna work like that every time. I like to think it will, but I know it won't. And now we're going to put this one here. Here we are. Put that there. And this one here. And this goes down, and this goes down. So as you can see, when I come to here, I have to have red, 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 and then the bottom blue. Then I have to put red along all these. So this whole thing will have to be have this done to it. But I'm going to have to find more red because this is all I have, and I don't want to just this row. I want it all blended. So that's something to think about. And then over here, I'm going to just want to start thinking about like what sashings I want to go in between, because this part is going to have a red and this is going to have a blue over here. And we'll put this. So this is what I'll be working on tomorrow because I have to go to work, unfortunately. I have to go to work. But you see it's coming together, right? And so I'm excited, very excited about this quilt. So everyone have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Pass it forward. Oops. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. If you don't mind on your way out, hitting the thumbs up, I would also appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, this is French General. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, my first French General. And that was brought to you by Lisa, the Awkward Quilter GA. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye, Teresa.